true production.
Comunidad Conquistadora, welcome to another episode. Today I have a guest who has been with me before. That episode was a huge success. Besides, I adore her. She always joins me in everything we do. And today, she's going to help us reveal this mystery or this thing about, well, I don't know, these beliefs that maybe being a woman isn't that great. Doña. So does that mean you have to toughen up and become a strong woman? Big balls because of beliefs and things like violence or things from the past. I don't know. But you're going to clarify it for us. My dear Ana Anamara Orihuela, how are you?
Welcome. I'm really happy, glad to see you because it's a joy. Thank you for inviting me to this podcast. I love sharing it with you. And also this topic, which is truly a subject I love with all my heart.
Same here, and honestly, I think it's more necessary than ever now. Because I say this as a man married to a strong woman from a culture where women are very dominant.
Yes.
And with my sisters who are the same and blah, 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 who actually already went to your big lady retreat to connect more with their feminine energy. Because yes, well, you're going to correct me and give me more context, but I feel like the pendulum was on side A, right? Like a woman who was kind of submissive, like she couldn't be fulfilled, she couldn't feel whole or do her own thing. And suddenly the pendulum swung to side B.
Yes.
And suddenly it's like we all have our masculine energy turned all the way up.
Yes.
We're all making money, working, building businesses, achieving professional success. But men and women can't be together anymore because it's an endless power struggle. So that's what I want us to talk about a little. And first of all, I want you to help me understand what a Doña Huevotes is. Okay. And why did these kinds of terms come about, right?
Okay. In my book, I actually talk about the commandments of a Doña Huevotes. And some of them are, don't stop. Don't ask for help. No one can understand you. You don't need a man. Don't get sick. It's up to you to solve it. You go through life alone. Don't complain. Complaining doesn't help at all. The commandments are like these forms, codes that women who've had to be strong at all costs live by. They hate getting sick. They hate it. They don't know how to be supported. They don't know how to ask for help, to stop. You feel like you always have to be spending your time on something productive, doing things. Because also a Mrs. Tough always has a lot of people she takes care of. She takes care of things for her partner, for her kids, for her parents, and at work too. She's very controlling, very dominant. Those are the traits of a Miss Tough. She seems like a badass, right? You'd say, what a badass woman, how strong she is. As I call it in my book, all of that is abuse towards ourselves. That toughness, that cruelty of never stop. You can always do it. Don't ask for help. Don't get sick. It's really cruel to ourselves, right? So also, it seems like today that's considered very good, right? Yes, like it's very validated.
Right.
Exactly, it's very validated, right? Don't depend, go alone, exactly because of what you're saying, right? Coming from a culture of permissive, submissive, adaptive women, as dependent, raised to depend on their partner, on their children, not to have a life or a personal project of their own. Thank you. So it's like a generation of masculinized women, right? Women with a lot of guts. But all of this has an origin, as you said, right? It's not spontaneous generation, right? All of this has an origin. And in many cases, I think we're in a time, and we come from a time where masculinity is overrated. Being mental, strategic, a provider, abundant, territorial, right?
She's spontaneous.
She's not spontaneous, full-on survival mode.
That's right.
Or what?
Yeah. That's what everyone should be for success. We all have to be like that if you want to be successful in life. I mean, to have abundance, to have the ability to control, to have power, to have a strong ego, then you need to have a lot of masculinity. And it's like we women learned it well. I mean, we understood that being vulnerable, sensitive, intuitive, loving, mothers, creating a home. I mean, this world put us at a disadvantage.
It was seen as something insignificant. Either they submitted or the husband treated them however he wanted, or maybe the husband was weak, and many did it out of necessity.
Yes.
Or because they were abandoned with 3 or 4 children, they had to go out and put on those masks.
Yes.
And that masculine persona, well, to support 3 or 4 children, right?
Yes. I mean, the truth is that for many women who were economically and emotionally dependent on their partner and who dedicated themselves to raising the children and making a home, it was a position of enormous vulnerability.
Yes.
I mean, indeed, if the husband was the one with the money,
Yes.
he was the one who did things, who worked, who went out to get the resources. And if at any moment he wanted to change her because he had the money, the properties, the bank accounts, I mean, if he wanted to go off with a young girl and leave her with nothing, he could do it.
Yes. And today, even though there are feminist movements and the law is supposed to protect women more and everything, it still happens.
It still happens. Yes, it keeps happening. I mean, I think this condition of dependence will take us centuries to unlearn. So on one hand, there's that, right? I mean, this social aspect that maybe many Doña Huevos grew up seeing a dependent, victimized mother and needy.
And did they want to make up for it or what?
And they said, I'm not going to be like my mom. I mean, I don't want to be like that woman who plays the victim, because the tough ladies are afraid of vulnerability, of victimhood. I mean, you can't handle a victim woman or a victim man. That one who complains, or that woman who complains and does nothing, who keeps saying that her husband and she can't take it anymore, and her boss and her job. I mean, for a tough woman, complaining and victimhood is like poison. It's poison. I mean, it's unbearable. I mean, because you, as a tough woman, if you don't like something, you change it.
Yes.
And no, I mean, you don't let your feelings get in the way.
Yeah, I laugh because that's just how I am, like a tough guy. That's how it is. And then, well, yeah, you say, hey, let's solve it. Don't go around complaining. But you also need to be empathetic, right?
Yes. Yes, I love that you say that, because it's true. I mean, it's a kind of hypermasculinity, whether in men or women. But you reject or disconnect from your feminine world. And that has serious consequences, especially when you're a woman, right? Because as women, we have a role. And now we're going to talk about it. But the role of femininity, that role is fundamental for society, for children. It's fundamental for ourselves. I mean, the power of the feminine, and that we as women understand that it has nothing to do, that power has nothing to do with masculine values, but with feminine values from our nature. That's something fundamental. And well, we'll unravel that later on, right? But then there are several conditions that make someone a hard-ass woman.
Social, we said that was one.
That's what social means, right? Like, I don't want to be like my mom anymore. No more noodle soup. Mom, me, my life, my plans, my studies, my money, me.
Okay.
That's very good. In fact, we wouldn't really say that's exactly a badass woman. I mean, a badass woman is someone who doesn't know how to stop, doesn't know how to rest, doesn't know how to be supported, and doesn't know how to ask for help. I hate getting sick. I can't stand vulnerability. You have to make life happen, right?
Okay. I mean, let's see if we can have it, or if I can give an example of what it is. You correct me. Being a complete woman is great fulfilled. Having everything in your life is awesome. But when you go beyond certain limits and you become hypermasculine, focused only on producing, on solving, on not feeling, on losing all that part that gives you that feminine energy, and you just become like this autopilot, just producing, solving, and doing,
Exactly.
you just become a real badass.
Exactly. I mean, because there are certain levels, right? I mean, I think let's say we all have a scale of masculinity. So, I mean, it's great if we're productive, if we're the providers, if we have our children in our care. Because if you're a single mom or you're a major contributor to the household finances, then you're probably going to have a high level of masculinity. And that's perfectly fine. The problem is when you're with your partner, with your kids, in your real relationships, you keep acting like a tough lady.
Of course, I mean, when you can't take off that superhero suit
That's right.
or those guts you have
Exactly.
to step into another stage. Okay.
So do you want to relate to your children as if you were the CEO of the company? Giving orders, telling them what they have to do, how they have to do it, having a lot of expectations. Do you want to relate to your partner by treating them like your employee? It's like, I told you what to do. Why didn't you solve it? Go here, go there, think like this, choose like this, do it like this. I mean,
You call the shots everywhere.
she's super bossy, right? I mean, when you even turn your partner into that, you take away his masculinity, you devour his masculinity, and you turn him into your son.
Like Karen told me, she went to your retreat. Karen, my wife, for those who don't know. She said, of course, I realize that strong women, what we do is cut off men's balls, and many end up castrated.
Some others were already castrated. Some others were already castrated.
They can't do anything to us. You tell us everything.
The queen has already spoken.
No, but I'll say, I do believe, for example, she and I, and maybe she mentioned it generally or maybe not, but if not, I'm saying it now. Well, obviously she runs into me, right? We get involved with each other. And she comes with this very feminist movement from Argentina, from her own life story as well, where her mom is the dominant one. And, well, I mean, father-in-law, forgive me, but just like my dad, they got crushed because my mom and hers are the dominant ones. She realized that's just how it is, along with her own childhood wounds. We'll discuss shortly how that can also cause it. But then she runs into another one, Mr. Big Balls. Even though my feminine energy is also pretty visible. That's why I do what I do. And many other things. Well, there was a power struggle and a with me no. And there we were. And I had two options. Either talk to her and send her to your retreat, one, or give in or get divorced.
No.
For me, giving in wasn't an option because I wanted us to be a team, not just a director, boss, or mom.
Yes.
I wanted a life partner. When I married her, I said, do you want to be my life partner? You don't want to be my mom or my boss. No, I mean,
Yes. So,
but that's what they're looking for. It's like, I give the orders, you obey me.
Yes, exactly. Because we have a painful relationship with masculinity.
why?
Because, for one, it could be because your father abandoned you, because you didn't have an available father figure. A loving, protective, present dad. So, in some way, your family lacked that masculinity and you took on that role in the system. I mean, a family needs a father. When that father goes out for cigarettes and doesn't come back, then one of the children, if the mother doesn't have that strength, one of the children takes on that role.
And the lady.
Doña Huevotes could be the wife of his mother or the mother of his mother.
Okay.
And of his siblings.
Okay.
So that could have been a reason. Another reason could have been that your dad was a real macho man, and when you were a little girl, your dad wanted a boy. I mean, he wanted to raise a boy. And so you had to sacrifice your little girl self in order to be approved by your dad.
He raised you like a man.
He raised you like a man. You understood his wish very well and became a woman with great masculinity, just like him. I mean, actually, there could be many examples. I mean, about why a woman has a need, because it is a need to be the strong one to carry the load, to not be vulnerable. All of them involve pain related to the masculine. Either because your dad didn't accept you, or because he wasn't there, or because you needed to develop a lot of protection or be a big provider. For example, you mentioned an example. She was a housewife, had 2 children, a husband, and her husband died. And she had to go out and support her 2 children. I mean, there was no time to cry or to see if someone would help you.
For it to be.
To solve it, for others to solve it. I mean, you just had to be strong. And in that having to be strong, well, you go through life in survival mode. And even Doña Huevos gets really scared when she finds herself outside. Oh, in front of a man who comes up to you and says, "Look, my queen, come on, serve this over here," right? Like, I've got everything handled here. Like, I have the masculine energy to take care of you, to compliment you, to treat you like a queen. So a tough woman is like, that's scary.
Why does it scare them?
Well, because you don't know how to receive. Because love scares you a lot. I mean, you're really afraid of being vulnerable because you're afraid to be vulnerable.
Of course.
Because you know that vulnerability is unfamiliar territory, a language you don't speak, and you could fall in love with someone, with a man like that. There's something else interesting here. I mean, a tough woman, that strength, control, mindset, generation. All of that, deep down, it's to cover up and protect a little girl with an abandonment wound. I mean, honestly, I would say we all have a little girl with an abandonment wound. I mean,
It could be that a dad left or that he just wasn't there emotionally, right?
that he wasn't available.
It's not necessarily that you didn't have a dad.
Totally. I mean, a dad who wasn't emotionally available for you, that makes you feel abandoned.
Yes.
So it's very interesting because there are many cases, for example, of women whose fathers weren't around since they were very young and they had to do things like pay for their own schooling, work from a very young age, do things on their own. But suddenly they meet a man who is a provider, a problem solver, a protector. And they swing to the other. I mean, they forget their job, their personal life, their goals, their strength, and they become super emotionally dependent women.
Dependent, not feminine, dependent.
No, emotionally dependent. I mean, the polarity.
Why?
Precisely because they get involved with someone who gives them what their dad never gave them or what they never had. And so, since it's not a condition that comes from awareness, I mean, this strength is just a mask. It's armor to protect their vulnerability. So, I mean, it could be that these women go to the other extreme, right? Where they become dependent, they forget that at some point they made their own decisions, they had a successful job. I mean, especially, for example, these are women who get married, have children, stop being productive. And after a while, they forget their ability to generate, and they lose confidence in themselves. And then they're very afraid to start working again, and they become the other extreme. I mean, the polarity is the symptom of the pain, of the wound, of the dysfunction.
Okay, now. Our main origin is the wound of abandonment. And of course, family issues, right? Like if your mom was a certain way and what we've talked about more or less. What's up with the pressure of the times we live in? Because today, women aren't given dignity. Who stays home with her kids? Women who are CEOs, who have businesses, who do all that, are given more dignity or are celebrated more. And even though one thing doesn't necessarily conflict with the other, and a woman can be fulfilled, I think being a woman who builds a home, like you said at the beginning, 2, who has, I don't know, her own place on the team and in the project, I think it's most important because she's raising children and more. But that's not dignified.
No.
That already looks like you're the cook, the maid, this one, that one,
The nanny.
the nanny. And I don't think that's the reason, because today when we see so many people who are hurt, frustrated, addicted, and everything, well, moms are needed. And of course, dads too.
And that's the thing, Yoni. I mean, I think this is a time when both of us are being called. Because before, it was, let's say it was fine. Because really, the mom did invaluable work. Valuable and priceless. I mean, if the hours that moms dedicate to their children, the household, and creating a home were paid, there wouldn't be enough money to cover everything it takes to maintain a home.
I agree.
No. I mean, that was the biggest deal. I mean, the dad provides, the mom takes care of the kids. She's the lady of the house. Of course, the biggest deal that put women at a huge disadvantage economically, and also in terms of the world, you know? Because your world became really small.
Yes.
I mean, as a woman, it's a very vulnerable situation. So actually, we're in a time where the call is for both, yes, both men and women in a couple to develop their masculine and feminine qualities so that both can have their own personal projects, but also both should take responsibility for the children's education.
Cool.
Because nowadays we also understand that children need an emotional bond with both mom and dad. And before, I mean, I don't know, with our mothers or our grandmothers, they didn't have an emotional bond with dad. I mean, dad didn't cry. Dad was the authority. When your dad gets home, I'm going to tell on you. He was the one who scolded the bad guy in the story. Mom had to take care of raising the kids, which is the biggest challenge in anyone's life. Raising your children. So that really didn't work. I mean, it didn't work. And I think today for couples, that's the challenge for many couples today, right? Because they're creating a model people aren't familiar with.
Totally agree. And I always try to share what I experience so people can see that we're not speaking from arrogance here, but rather from, well, I'm in this process and I'm trying to share what I go through. You know, I got married really young to Anna Mar at 38. Oh, please, you were so young. A baby. They caught me when I was just a kid. And you know what? At first, I wasn't really sure I wanted to get married because I had this ideal of building a team, and I didn't see that in anyone close to me. What I saw was a mother-son relationship, a father-daughter relationship. Or I saw a power struggle, or I saw someone whose only role was to pop out kids, or a cook, and she had her provider to buy her bags and stuff. But I longed for more. I longed for connection. I longed for all this closeness. I longed for a friendship. And, well, a lot of things that made me think, I feel like I'm such an idealist that it's just not going to happen, right? Suddenly, I met Karen, and for many reasons, I said, wow, I'm going to take the leap. And she took the leap with me. And the truth is that everything, now that she and I look back on it, from the very beginning, it was like I proposed to her. I said, do you want to be my life partner? Our ring says that on the inside. And that was, or has been, I think we're already getting past it. The main struggle in our relationship. I mean, the challenge that as a team we're trying to deal with because we don't have many references.
Yes.
Who do you ask?
Of course.
And this whole thing about childhood wounds and this whole thing about feminine energy, even though Carl Jung already talked about it and all that, we're just now getting to know it more closely.
Yes.
And so when she brings out her characters and I bring out mine, and it's like we don't really understand what's going on, but we're trying to make it work. We end up facing a lot of frustration.
Of course.
And obviously she comes with these fears that you talk about. Hey, Johnny, I really do want you to be the provider. And I love it because I want to be a woman who is taken care of.
Yes.
That doesn't make me less fulfilled. I'll have my business, do my own things, work out, and see my friend. But I'm afraid that if this doesn't work out, I'll be left with my bags packed and I'll have to leave. And so there it's also the man's job to be vulnerable and not act macho and say, hey, no, let's make agreements and try to lay the groundwork. If it doesn't happen, have a plan. But most importantly, let's do our best to make it work.
Yeah.
What you're saying really resonates with me because it feels new. And I don't think there are many references. And I feel that, thank God, there are people who talk to us about it. Because if not, how would we do it? The meaning of love in our homes is very outdated, don't you think?
Yes, totally. It's just that we're creating models that don't exist.
They're new.
They're new. Totally. Or for example, I think, right? Let's see. Women, imagine women who have been productive their whole lives. Let's imagine women like Mrs. Huevo, big eggs. When they get married. I mean, they've been productive, independent, self-sufficient, and generators. You get married, perfect, right? Everything seems great because let's say, the honeymoon phase hasn't ended yet. You're still in the honeymoon stage. Marriage has several surprising stages for everyone and life in general, right? But imagine when the issue comes up, let's say the issue of covering expenses and agreeing on things at home and all that, that can be a problem. But somehow it's not that serious. But then she gets pregnant. I mean, at that moment, we women understand that it's not the same. Because your partner still has the same body. The same ability, the same energy, everything about him hasn't changed. Everything about you changes. Your body, character, and energy. Everything changes.
Yes.
I mean, when your child is about to be born, you can't work. I mean, you're unable to continue your productive life. I mean, you find yourself breaking away from this idealization we have about motherhood, that everything is beautiful, rosy, and amazing. I mean, you don't know yourself. You become someone you don't like in many ways. It's hard because you put your own plans aside. I mean, as a woman, you go through a lot more grief. I mean, you go through a much deeper grief because you left your personal project, but you're also changing on a level where you see your partner walking happily like this, through the woods with Little Red Riding Hood in the forest. I mean, it's really frustrating because you say, hey, he's perfect. He doesn't have hot flashes. I mean, not hot flashes. That's something else. Oh, you went even further. I really went way further. He doesn't have heartburn. He doesn't have
Hormonal changes.
hormonal changes from, what's it called, from feeling nauseous. Experience several symptoms, but you don't feel like hurting anyone.
Yes.
I mean, it's a lot of really intense things, right? So, I mean, the truth is that nature itself puts a pause in a woman's productive life, and it does. When you have kids and you're a real badass, you enter a territory that deeply scares you, which is the territory of vulnerability, where you have to be taken care of because you have to take care of your child, breastfeed them. Because even if your partner is a great teammate and really wants to help, well, milk doesn't come out of their breasts. I mean, you're the one who has to breastfeed. Yes. You're the one who has to be deeply connected with your child during those first years. It's you. And that's how nature works. Johnny.
Yes, in a way, nature in its great wisdom already sets certain positions on the board, certain roles, which today are seen as less dignified or less honorable when in reality they are everything. It's beautiful, yes. If you choose not to have children and pursue another life project, be happy. That's your main mission.
Yes.
But if you decide to enter a relationship, decide to be a mom, and go through this stage of adjustments during pregnancy or after the honeymoon phase, or when, I don't know, there's a financial crisis, well, it is important that there aren't two mammoth hunters fighting, but rather, look, just one. One thing I once told my dad in a video is that I said, Dad, I know that if the ship sank, if a ship were to sink and our family was there, my mom would try to save us, her children, but you would try to save my mom. That's one way of saying it. I know that my mom will always be his priority, And for her, it's her children, right? Or will they always be like in these matters of pregnancy that you mentioned and everything? But what about the man? We have a very important role, which is not just to provide money, but also just as we seek support from women. When we come home tired from work or whatever, or we have a crisis or pain, well, we can also be there for them. And that's our feminine side, right?
Yes, yes.
So it's like balancing those energies, because if not, we get into this part where there's just a complete imbalance and I don't know, we don't understand each other.
Yes, I mean, the challenge today for both men and women is to learn to speak the language of femininity, of vulnerability, of emotions, for both.
Wow, I love it.
I mean, actually, it's not just a language that women find hard to speak because we learned that it put us at a disadvantage, because it was risky, because it hurt, because it was unstable. I mean, we learned that it wasn't the safe place, but actually that place, men also need to develop it, because men who want to be available fathers for their children need the language of the feminine.
Something very important, Anama, is that there's a misunderstanding about what feminine energy is.
Okay.
It may seem like men have to speak one way and women another, acting cute, but that's not really what it means, right? I mean, what is feminine energy?
Okay. First, it's the connection to the wisdom of the body. I mean, it's the switch of what I feel. Not what I think, but what I feel. I mean, for example, my feminine energy. Today, in this moment, it's here in front of you. Feeling trust, feeling joy. I mean, it has nothing to do with what I'm thinking or what I am. I'm sharing, but rather how I am physically and how I stand in front of the different circumstances in my life from a physical standpoint. I mean, bodily wisdom is incredible because your feminine body wisdom tells you when you're in danger. When something isn't right, when something is, you can't trust it, when something bothers you, makes you uncomfortable. I mean, we can know where our limit is because our feminine body wisdom tells us, I don't know what's wrong with me. That's very common in women. Like, I don't know, but I have a bad feeling about it.
Like intuition.
No, yeah, like it just doesn't feel right. No, don't ask me why, because I wouldn't know how to explain it to you. But I know this isn't right. I know that here. Don't trust, don't go this way, or don't get on that plane. I mean, from maybe intuition is a kind of wisdom that goes beyond the mind. I mean, we've learned that as a culture, we've learned, men and women, that knowledge, data, right? Intelligence is wow, it's the ultimate. But actually, it's because we haven't explored the wisdom that exists in our feminine side, which goes beyond the mind, which leaves it dumbfounded, because it actually surpasses logic. I mean, the feminine is intuition, it's bodily wisdom, it's emotion, it's connection, it's bonding. So every time you feel connected to life, to an idea, to your partner, when you feel bonded, you are experiencing feminine energy.
And in a way, men have culturally repressed that part of us for many generations. Insensitive, like they made us more logical, more decisive, more competitive, sarcasm and materialistic, more materialistic, and like feeling was for the weak, you know, like things, yeah.
Sissy.
Yeah. You said it very well. So, like, in my case, that's not really the case, although sometimes, of course, but many of my friends, for example, if I want to talk about something sensitive with them, something deep, they avoid it, they make a joke, they leave, they ridicule it, they just can't.
Yes.
With women, it's different for me. I connect well with them because they let me balance that part myself. Now, the modern woman has also lost that. I mean, because they put on this tough lady mask and stop connecting with that part of themselves.
You know, I think our nature is stronger there, right? Okay. I mean, you never, for example, if you look at a men's chat, Men's chats are about sharing pictures of naked women, jokes, soccer, technology. They complain about, I don't know, work, traffic, I don't know. You'd know best. I'm not in men's chats, not me, Ana Mar.
Not me, Ana Mar Orihuela. I send deep quotes. No, let's accept what is true. All my groups of friends are like that.
Yes, right? I mean, and God help you,
If you even think about sending a thoughtful quote,
they attack you.
haha, ridiculous. So they just ignore you, right?
Yeah, right? Like, it sounds really good for men to be, well, very charming to like women, to know about the world, to go to car races, to know about technology. I mean, really, I think their ability to speak their emotional language is absolutely Neanderthal. I mean, they really have a less and less.
Hopefully less. That's our purpose.
Yes. And maybe, I mean, I'm really not saying this from my tough girl side, but from what we see, right? I mean, we see something also, something really sad for men, Johnny. Because in their emotional language, there's also wisdom. I mean, men who could stand more firmly, inhabit themselves more, connect more with what's happening, with what they need, with what hurts them, with their deep connections. I mean, we're actually seeing, let's say, men who are very hurt in their connection with themselves. No. And of course, that leaves all of us with an emptiness. Because just as we women also need to connect with greater bodily wisdom and a deeper connection with ourselves, with life, with spirituality, because that is also what it means to be feminine. I mean, the feminine brings us together and connects us with nature. I mean, when we regain feminine awareness, we regain ecological and spiritual awareness. I mean, we connect with the wilder part of ourselves more, more human. No, I mean by wilder, I mean a kind of wisdom. Yes, more connected to nature.
Not so much aggressive.
Exactly, that respects life.
Now, what's happening? Could it be that that's why modern relationships are getting so complicated? Why? I once heard someone on a podcast say something that really resonated with me. I've quoted her 2 or 3 times and need to invite her to this podcast. I mean, I said, of course, she said it perfectly. Today, men are still looking for women who no longer exist, referring to the submissive ones, the ones who were in the kitchen waiting like that with their slippers on. I don't know. That wasn't my experience. And women are looking for men who don't exist yet.
Yes.
Only a few are working on themselves. Others aren't interested. So there's still no compatibility of energies. What's happening there?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there's a big wave of women searching. For example, you know it because all of the vast majority of these groups where there's healing, and women go there to work on their self-esteem. I mean, they go to work on their self-esteem, their self-love, relationships. 80 to 90% of those audiences are women. I mean, even today, the search for therapy, for healing, for personal development, for inner growth, it's 90% women.
Yes.
I mean, where are the men? They're the ones who need that inner work the most.
Now, the irony is they're watching soccer.
Yes. But because of peer pressure, I think social pressure, and because you know what? Oh, there are so many things. But let's see. First of all, the one who raises us is a woman.
Yes. So
I think there's an opportunity there for new moms.
Yes.
And they're seeing it. They're making it happen. About not acting like we're made of glass. Like now people say, I don't tell him anything because he's too sensitive, right?
Yeah.
But yes, helping children connect more with their emotions, making them see that crying is okay, talking is okay, comforting them, right? That kind of thing. But I also do think that men my age or in similar age ranges need to let their guard down and stop believing that being a man means being a Neanderthal caveman. Like you say, And that women don't like those guys. Women like, and I've noticed the connection, deep conversation, support, being there for them, being a team.
Yes. And let me tell you something beyond what he gives us. We like that willingness. Men and women, human beings, we deeply need real relationships.
Agreed.
And real relationships have a basic component vulnerability.
Agreed.
I mean, emotional language, eye contact, soul connection.
Yes.
I mean, we're eager, hungry. I mean, if this world had couples, families with more emotional connection, I mean, without a doubt, it wouldn't be the world we live in.
You know, confirm or correct me, even married people keep acting inside their own home, which should be the safest place, as if it were a stage. Like characters and masks. That's why they never manage to come full circle and feel that their partner is really the person who knows them best, loves them most, and supports them the most, because it's not a genuine connection or relationship.
Yes.
Well, as long as you meet all these conditions, but the first time you cross me, you'll see.
Yes.
And you can't manage to trust, and that's why all these issues come up. Like, well, I won't buy the house so that half of it doesn't end up with someone else, or I avoid earning more so I won't have to give away half.
Yes.
How can we start to take off our masks a little bit?
You know, I don't even think this world is made for love.
You don't think so? This world is made.
This world is made for you to be productive, to have a nice car, a nice house,
I get you.
so you can have the bag of your dreams, so you can travel, so that this world, if we want to be in this world, it's all about ego.
Correct. Especially the social world.
I mean, yeah, capitalist, that world they sell us on social media. I mean, if we don't work to avoid being the clients of the owners of the cave, like Plato said. I mean, Plato was talking exactly about this metaphor, right? That the cave has owners, and the owners of the cave want us all to buy into those stereotypes that come from the ego and leave us feeling empty. So empty that we become big consumers.
Correct. I was watching a show the other day called Friends and Neighbors about those ultra wealthy gated communities and so on. One friend tells the other Rolls Royce, expensive houses, everything.
Exactly.
He says, at what point did our lives become so empty that we have to fill them with expensive things?
Exactly.
And I love that you're saying it, because I really think they're just scenarios. We're trying to stand out, to belong, to chase conditioning, goals, and success.
Yes.
Just a bunch of nonsense.
Yes.
They make us feel empty inside because the soul and everything you were talking about, it's not being heard.
No.
So we don't truly connect with ourselves or others.
Of course. I mean, because if you're not really present, you're always focused outward, right? I mean, and I love it because I had never come to talk about Doña Huevos in depth like we're doing now. I love it. I mean, I love it. Every time, every person, with anyone I can share these topics with, I mean, something really nice happens, right?
Me too.
And I'm very grateful.
Likewise.
Because I really do believe that if we manage to connect with our inner world, we would stop being so vulnerable to the ones who run the cave. Because we all want to belong. We all want acceptance. I mean, who wants to go to their kid's school and be the one who doesn't have friends or the one who's rejected, right? Or go to your job or go somewhere and be the one singled out. I mean, we all want to be accepted and to belong.
But Ana Mar, here comes something that's related to childhood wounds, and we can, if you want, address it from there as well. Which is that living around the ego and this whole need to belong, accept me, I want to stand out, and all that is nothing more than a sophisticated survival mechanism.
Yes.
We are Neanderthals with good marketing, with brand name clothes.
That's right.
But we're really not self-aware enough. We're still in survival mode. And we keep stopping ourselves from living and enjoying and rather ruled by our inner child who no longer has to survive, they've already survived. Yeah. He wants to live, but he doesn't know how. So he stays in mask mode.
You were saying a little while ago that we're playing as characters
Yes.
where you have to be the dad, the provider, you have to be the mom, you have to be this, right? I mean, that's exactly how we are. In those roles, we're just surviving. There's a really great movie that I love. I remember when I went to see it at the theater, people left in silence. It's called The Confessions of Mr. Schmidt
Okay, I haven't seen it. I'll watch it.
by Jack Nicholson. And Mr. Schmidt was a man just like any of us. A good provider, a good father. He always worked at a company. And the story begins when they lay off Mr. Schmidt. And then he has to stay at home and reconnect with his wife, realizing that he hasn't had any connection with her for many years. He realizes that his daughter grew up with him in this provider-father role, but he also didn't have any real connection with his daughter. And that he had really dedicated his whole life to that role that is socially acceptable. The great father because he supported his family, because he was a great provider, but in reality with no substance, no deeper sense of meaning in life. Even at one point in the movie, he says, what is it? Let's say, what is the positive impact that I leave in this world by being here, right? It's a very philosophical movie, but it's precisely this idea that in reality we won't be able to get out of this cave or get out of these roles if we don't connect with our femininity. It involves both men and women. I mean, actually, the Doña, Huevote are simply the product or the result, right? We are the result of various conditions that pushed us toward masculinity, toward productivity, defense, competitiveness. And of course, well, the men were already there, and that made us fight. To want to control each other, to not open ourselves up to others. Well, why? Me? Why are you telling me if I earn more? No, I mean, I want to earn more because money is power. So for me, the possibility of having power is the possibility of earning more than you. And I'm not going to let you walk all over me like my mom was walked all over, right? I'm not going to let you walk all over me like the women from my lineage, right? The ones I felt were walked all over. So of course, we women also have pain, a pain that needs to be healed.
If there's conflict in that relationship or friendship or whatever it is, it's not just two people, but two stories. A lot of resentment, a lot of baggage, a lot of family history. And that's where we have to start put down all that baggage and take off those masks. Because if we don't, we'll never be able to truly connect.
Yes.
And here's a question that I want to know how you see it. Because you say that both men and women need to connect with femininity.
Yes.
I completely agree with that. It's about being more sensitive, more empathetic, much more.
Human connection, let your guard down.
Connection with nature.
I totally agree. You have no idea how much and how I've put it into practice. I think all my life. But right now, marriage is telling me, now more than ever, go for it. Because for me,
Yes. Now when it comes to ideas, it's time to put them into action.
do you want to level up? Go for it. Connect more with that and balance yourself more with that and end up in the same thing, right? So what does a strong woman look like to you? But feminine and not lacking because of it, but complete. I mean strong, but not with a closed heart. I'm strong, but I'm a woman. I'm not a man. Okay. And what does a man look like who's also strong, but also has his feminine side? Not because he's feminine, it doesn't mean he's weak or a sissy or those things we say. How would you see it, more or less?
I love it. There's a scene, and I just love movies. There's a scene in the movie Troy where Hector is going to fight Achilles, and he has his wife and his son. I mean, this is a warrior who's going to clear his brother's name, who's going to face death with dignity. But who's there in front of his wife and his son, vulnerable, saying goodbye, telling her what she has to do in tears, right? I mean, and she too, I mean, he's going to leave and she knows what she's going to do. She's going to get to safety. She's going to rescue the family. And she also upholds his ideal, which is to go die for a cause, right? I mean, we see this as very ideal. Blessed movies that give us role models in a time when we don't have them. Conexión. No, I mean, I would say a woman with balance has her own personal project, her own dreams, personal space, and she loves connection. I mean, she turns all her worlds into spaces that feel like home of connection because that's what she is. I mean, she teaches transcendent values. She's a woman who connects. She's warm, she's present. Let's say she has a presence where she doesn't have to talk much or share a lot of knowledge. You can tell. But rather, she shows that it's within her, that it's within her. She's feminine. She loves her femininity. She loves being a woman, but she also knows how to make decisions, how to protect herself. She's going to go out and work on a project, defend an idea, or move a project forward. She'll do it with a clear mind and with strategy. But she knows that's just one part. It's part of her life. And when she gets home, she can take off her armor, you know? This strong woman can be cared for. She can ask. She can receive. Her strength is there. For example, I love women who are CEOs of companies or who are presidents or who are leaders and who understand that the most important thing about their leadership is love for people, caring, caring for the human beings who make up their team. I mean, she's empathetic. She understands that beyond the numbers, there are people. I mean, they move in different areas of life,
Yes.
focusing on what is most transcendent, which are relationships, humanity, values, and connection. And men too, right? Almu. I mean, they understand that they have to, that maybe they can be productive, have a personal project, go out into the world with their masculinity, right? But not in a dehumanizing way. I mean, our human side comes from our feminine side, our spiritual consciousness. So they do personal work. They know how to talk about their emotions with their children, and they are emotionally available for their partner. I mean, they know that the most important thing in this life is not money, their bank account, their car. That's not the most important thing.
I mean,
Actually, relationships are what are going to make us happy, make us live longer. And that can't be built with just masculinity. I mean, of course, there's a structure, a way, an organization, an order that masculinity provides, which is wonderful, right? I mean, masculine energy is wonderful, but the feminine gives it depth.
I agree with you. And I really like the analogy you used of Hector and Achilles, because Achilles is the hypermasculine one.
Yes.
And look at him. He's alone, just seeking external validation of immortality. Yes.
With an ego.
An ego through the roof.
Yes.
And, well, basically, yes. Okay. He's very important in the story, in that movie and all, but he really doesn't give you that feeling that Hector gives you.
Yes.
At least I resonate much more with Hector, who you see at the same level of masculinity as Achilles, but with that balance, with that strength, and with that humility, which is very much part of his feminine side.
Yes.
Knowing that he's going to die and knowing that, but he's going to honor his family and his loved ones, right? So I couldn't have said it better.
Yes.
And I do agree with that. I mean, because I all my life, exactly, because of all these issues of compensating for things, I grew up with the mask of being the strong one or believing that I had to be the strong one for my family. And I got really used to that role. And in a way, it worked for a lot of things. But in other ways, I ended up putting myself last. I put my brothers first, my family first, always putting them above everything, always everything for them. Until I reached a point where I realized that carrying so much on my own is very heavy. It's very complicated.
Yes, it's cruel.
It's very cruel. And that's something marriage taught me a lot. The crisis of turning 40 broke me just because I said, I can't handle everything anymore because I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. And by wanting to give you, my wife, everything, by trying to be this perfect man, this provider, this strong man, I'm losing myself. And then when I break down, Karen notices this because obviously she is very involved in this friction. A little bit of friction, like it's there, but it doesn't fully explode. And she starts to break down with me. And she understands that I'm going to rebuild myself and that I want a team. And that if she doesn't also join me in this process and in this journey of individual self-discovery, we're going to support each other and break up because I couldn't do it alone anymore, right? And she didn't want to stay on the sidelines either. In a way, she didn't want me to take care of everything. She also wanted to participate.
Yes, she's part of the journey.
Exactly. That's right. So what I want to point out right now is that it's really great to have a woman who, for example, if I'm stressed, if I'm having problems or dealing with everything that comes with being a provider, knows how to distract you, spoil you, and comfort you. But that doesn't exempt you as a man from doing the same when she needs it.
Yes.
You should also be there.
Yes, and I think, really, for example, how bad would it be or how unmanly would it be for a man if your partner said, my love, I'm going to invite you on this trip. I invite you on this trip because I saved up, because I love you, not that you should always be the one to pay. No, it's about balance.
I'm inviting you to dinner, my love.
I'm going to say, and I think many men with that kind of Neanderthal programming would agree. Yeah, it might make you uncomfortable. It might make you uncomfortable.
I love your laugh.
It might make you uncomfortable because, well, how? I want to take care of you and show I'm the man here, but how do I do it? Hombre, I think letting go of those things really brings balance, and you also allow yourself to receive as a man.
Because in this role, you always have to give, earn, solve, pay. That's great. I think it's good for you as a man. Perfect. But you also have to learn to receive. And I think that's why women who have their own personal projects and who are also productive and self-sustaining, Fami, it's not that great. He covers all the expenses, and everything I earn is just for my own things.
Things. For my things, right?
Okay. Anything can happen, right? But honestly, I also think it's good as a man to know that you can be supported by your wife because she saves money, because she's also productive. Both of you, both have your own personal project. They care for and support each other, and both are parents to their children. They are available to be able to raise them, to raise a child. We've already seen that. We are the generations of fathers, of children, mostly raised by women who were the ones in charge of motherhood. And with an absent father. The father didn't speak that language.
No, or they didn't let him participate.
Yes, because no. You as the provider, as long as you have your family, a house, food, and a roof over your head, the woman is the one in charge of educating the children. I remember a few years ago, I had a patient who was a top CEO. She worked in president-level roles, and she told me, Ana Anamar, I used to think when I worked at these companies that it was going to be the highest point of my career, the most challenging experience of my life. Nothing was ever going to compare to that. The day I became a mom, because she also left all of that to be a mom to her kids. That was it. It was something that excited her. She has, at that time, she had 2 kids. She said, keep a cool head. Be assertive. Don't lose control. Really. Make the best decisions. Be loving. Take on the project of raising your kids. I mean, it's very challenging.
Harder than being a CEO.
1,000 times more. It's crazy. I mean, everyone who works knows that it's so much better to be productive. I mean, it's much better to be productive because, you know, we realize it when we get home to our kids. And whether it's homework or a tantrum or they don't want to take a bath or whatever, because on top of that, our kids are experts at pushing our buttons. They're the real experts at pushing our buttons. Totally. Our impatience, our pain, our own wounds. I mean, it's super complicated.
Yes. And I think that even if you're a real provider, like I want to be in my case, and she can earn her own money, and also, like you said, pay for certain things. Thank God, that's the first thing she thinks about. Sending a big kiss to my wife, because whenever she earns some money, she immediately thinks of what to give me. I tell her she should save, but she insists on giving me something.
How sweet.
It doesn't matter because in the end, okay, maybe she has a little more responsibility, or I don't know how to say it, a little more space in that area of raising the kids, and I have more in the area of providing. But that doesn't take away my desire to be involved with my kids, and she should also contribute. Because if one day I stumble,
Yes.
it'd be nice if she said, hey, my love, don't worry, we've got enough for bread and beans, right?
Of course.
Or maybe she surprises me and says, we have caviar and everything. No, it's not to put her down. Actually, it's to say, I support you. That's great because it makes you feel like part of a team. Mainly the energy. What has caught my attention the most, and something I really appreciate that she discovered at your retreat, and that I highly recommend because of what Karen and my sister Nicole told me, is that they connect with their femininity. They realize where that wounded part comes from, the one that puts on this mask of you have to be strong and you have to compete and you have to be more than the man and you have to dominate. And they become strong women, not submissive, strong. And then the man, who is also strong, well, they make a very strong team. Now, there are two strong people facing life, not two incomplete people making each other's lives miserable by fighting. Plus, they still have to struggle against life and earn a living. It's tough.
Yes, because in reality, two are two. A woman and a man, both from their own masculinity, with her being a tough woman and him being a tough man, they're never really going to connect. They're a good team at being very productive. Divas, they can be really good at growing their assets, at agreeing on very practical matters. Tech. Most likely, they're like two very good directors of a company, but neither of them has the ability to. I mean, those kids are going to miss having a mom, or they're going to miss having a dad on his feminine side. Their relationship is going to lack connection.
Yes.
I mean,
Someday they'll have a big house, many cars and trips, but lack what's essential. As we said, they'll live from their ego, from the persona they project,
From consumption.
not from authenticity.
yes, which is actually what makes us happy, also as human beings.
Yes.
And it's very, very interesting because everyone who has gone through therapy, those who have experienced an illness, a breakup, or the death of a loved one, I mean, these experiences invite us to enter the emotional world, the whole world of the feminine. And those experiences bring us back more authentic, more human.
What about the people who are surely going to comment something like, I wanted to be feminine, I wanted to be more sensitive, and I wanted whatever else? Or men who say, I was hurt, they took advantage. What would you tell them?
Yes, well, life isn't perfect. I mean, pain exists. It's not about not experiencing pain. We're all going to go through it, whether we're aware of it or not, whether we have feminine energy or not. I mean, we all experience pain. The important thing isn't to avoid pain, it's to learn. First, to learn from pain. Because pain is a great teacher. It's the greatest teacher of all lessons. I mean, if you went through a situation where you got hurt, most likely there was something you needed to learn, something you allowed, something you created. And then you can really learn from life situations. Se restó, rantó. I mean, let's stop thinking that life should be like a menu at I mean, no. Life is complex. It's not perfect. and it's not what we expect. No one is what you expect. We have to learn to navigate with that pain because we all go through it, right? And I think it's a great teacher. I love it. I love living by a philosophy where if it hurts, there's a lesson. Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
100% agreed. The problem is that, like you said, people don't want to feel pain. Anesthetizes you, numbs you, distracts you, fills you with brands, whatever, and you don't allow yourself to feel it. And maybe you kind of rationalize it,
Yes.
but you don't integrate it, and then you miss out on some really important lessons.
Yes, actually, we're experts at projecting pain because if it hurts us, you're the one to blame.
Yes.
Rationalizing it, of course, it's hurting me because surely this has to do with me feeling abandoned, like when I felt abandoned as a child. So we can hide it. So we give ourselves thousands of activities so we don't connect with that pain, right? I mean, avoiding it. In short, we're afraid of pain because also I think that within the same story sold to us by the powers that be, they made us believe that we came to this life only to be happy. And honestly, sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes that's not true. Sometimes we're not.
And the thing is, yes,
Sometimes you find yourself up against your limitations. Sometimes that pain drags you down. You don't feel like fighting anymore. Sometimes you're sad, depressed. Sometimes it just happens. Normal and healthy people sometimes just don't feel like getting up because it's tough life decisions.
totally agree. And let's not forget that there's a lot of satisfaction in overcoming those challenges, in solving those problems. So instead of drowning in them, we have to learn to solve them, to overcome them all. And that's where we'll find higher levels, better versions of ourselves. And a peace that comes from knowing that whatever comes won't be comfortable, but it won't knock me down. Would you say that if people worked on their childhood wounds,
Yes.
balance their feminine and masculine energy,
Yes.
and we could go from such a high divorce rate to a little less, and relationships would be more genuine and more connected?
Yes, absolutely. I also do retreats for couples. I'm actually about to go give one in Monterrey, actually. That's the couple's problem. The problem that the couple is having is the issue that they're projecting their frustrations. They don't know their wounded inner children and they're projecting their wounds.
Yes.
They don't know how to communicate. They don't take responsibility for themselves. In order to build a real relationship, you have to take responsibility for your emotional world, which is what sabotages your relationships. We don't realize that the main characters in our romantic relationships are our wounded inner children, and we have no idea what triggers them, how they behave, or how to comfort them. Because the one responsible for that hurt child is you, not your partner.
Totally agree.
Yeah, I'm completely convinced of that.
I'm convinced of that too. And I think that's why we do what we do.
You do.
So before I say goodbye and thank you, let's invite people to follow you, to buy your book on all platforms. It's a book that's everywhere called Doña Huevotes. Go check out her retreats, her courses, and also check out mine, because we talk about topics that will help you a lot with everything we discussed today.
And that
And it's not for free, right? Aren't these things that God enlightened us and gave us that wisdom? We've been through that. And when we find answers that solve it, we can share them because we're on this side of the bed.
Yes, I think that's the merit. The merit is that we seek consistency in what we share. And I always feel like I'm walking through places where I love to tell you, this part hurts, right? No? This is solid ground, of course. And here there's confusion. I love it here, but mostly in terms of my own steps in growth and learning. Thank you so much for inviting me. And yes, please, work on your femininity, okay? It's the best bet we can make as human beings.
That's true. Men and women, so that they can be strong women, but with a very beautiful and lovely femininity. And also be strong in life and with the things you have to overcome. And men, healthy masculinity, which we already know what it is. Stop being Neanderthals. Anamar, thank you very much for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for helping me already give Karen and Nicole a talking to. No, that's not true. Thanks so much. Sending a kiss. Don't forget to subscribe and see you next session.
A Troop production.